Okay, so welcome to today's Meet the Brand from Independent Gyms. Before I hand over to today's guest, I want to make sure anybody that's tuned in live or on playback, if you're running classes in your facility, this is the one for you. Stay tuned. I'm really excited to get this brand on board. I'm really excited about the future and what the future holds for them. It will revolutionise the way you run class cover in your facility. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nik Leeke, who is Head of Partnerships. Have I got that right? Head of
You
Partnerships
have, yeah, that's
for
the one.
CoverMe app. So take it away, and I will join again at the end with any questions or anything like that. Over to you.
Amazing. Right. Thank you, Amy. And thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be here and to be speaking to independent gym owners. It's a subject that's pretty dear to my heart, having been an independent gym owner for 4 or 5 years a while back. I understand how challenging things can be. I know how much hard work and effort you put in. So, if you're watching this, I appreciate that you've taken a few minutes out of your day to learn a bit more about CoverMe. So I'm going to share some slides just to give you guys a bit of an overview about what we do, the concept behind it, the problem that it solves, and how it solves that problem. So bear with me while I share my screen. And we should be good. Right, Amy, can you just give me a thumbs up? You can see that?
I can see it. All good.
Amazing. Right. So CoverMe is a relatively new concept in the fitness industry. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the backstory behind it. So the 2 female founders of CoverMe are independent gym owners in London. They're studio owners. They run a very successful studio, which has hundreds of classes a week. And they were really struggling to manage their group exercise team and also source high quality cover. Me personally, my background, as I mentioned, I've been in the fitness industry for about 20 years now. Some of that has been as an independent gym owner and operator. I've also worked for some of the largest brands in the fitness industry here in the UK, and now I'm head of partnerships at CoverMe. So back to the app. The 2 founders were really struggling to source cover and manage their team. It was very much a case of when a need for cover arose, that it was multiple WhatsApp groups, chat groups. Do you know someone who knows someone? And this was often unreliable, a very manual process, very time consuming, where they would have to check certificates, check IDs, all that kind of stuff. You were never sure whether the cover was going to turn up. And they thought, if this is our experience, is this happening everywhere else? So we did a little bit of research. And as you can see on this slide, there are some pretty big numbers here. But to kind of give you some more specifics, if you run classes at your facility and you run around 100 classes a week, our research shows that about 15 of those will need cover at some point during the week. And you might think, well, what's the problem with that? We're managing, and I'm sure you guys are, WhatsApp does the job, Facebook groups does the job. But what I'll come on to in a minute is that we now think there's a better way, a more streamlined way of managing cover. So what we found through our research is that 37% of members reported that their classes were disrupted regularly. Again, you might think, well, what's the problem in that? But 16% of members said that if they did experience frequent changes to their classes or frequent disruption, they'd be likely to cancel their memberships. So 16 out of every 100 of your members would be likely to cancel. So we see CoverMe not just as a management tool or a way of sourcing new talent or providing emergency cover, but also as a retention tool. I think that nowadays in the fitness industry, there's so much choice that your member experience has to be absolutely spot on to retain your members. And again, I'm speaking of a place, hopefully, of some knowledge, having been an owner-operator myself. So above that, we've got the fact that a lot of members would not even recommend your facility to a friend if they were experiencing these regular group exercise disruptions. So on the surface, it might seem like the odd cancelled class doesn't mean much. I could be wrong, but hopefully you guys can see that providing a top quality service, not cancelling classes, not disrupting your schedule, actually makes happy members, and happy members stay, and happy members pay more money, essentially. And this whole problem costs the UK fitness industry around £142,000 a week. So it's quite a big problem. CoverMe app was designed to solve this problem, and in the pilot location, which has now been live for about 9 months, we've managed to have a 97% success rate on cover, but I'll come on to that in a second. So CoverMe is a on-demand app for venues and instructors. Instructors can download the app absolutely free, create their profile, earn more, teach more, really tap into that gig economy. For the venues, it's a way of, as I said, managing your existing team. And if that doesn't work, you can push out notifications to the wider CoverMe network of instructors, all in under 30 seconds. Essentially, CoverMe is a matching app. So we're matching the needs of the venue, whether that is a specific qualification or a certain type of class. And then that notification will only be sent out to the relevant, qualified, insured instructors within a predetermined radius of your facility. So we've done a little bit more research. This is very recent, so this is only a couple of months old. And I don't think this has actually gone out to the media yet, so I might get in trouble for sharing this. But from our LeisureNet solution survey that we did a few months ago, we can see that 4/5, so 80% of clubs need to find cover on a daily or weekly basis. And the same number of managers and owners are spending at least an hour a week finding class cover. So what could you be doing in that hour? You know, the likelihood is that when you're doing something as mundane and admin-y as finding class cover and arranging that, you're probably being pulled off a higher value task to do with acquisition or retention. So again, by streamlining this, you can actually set aside more time to be doing the things that which help your gym grow, help your business grow, attract more members, retain more members, etc. The one in the top right-hand corner was a really shocking one to me. As I said, as a former owner-operator, I know this pain all too well, that 63% of managers and owners were contacted out of hours at least once per week. I know that you guys, well, I certainly, you know, lived and breathed it when I was running my own facility. I know it's all consuming and you don't ever get a day off, but, you know, everyone needs downtime. You want to spend time with your friends and with your family. And the fact that you're having to check WhatsApp groups late at night to make sure that your next spin session is covered can be a real pain in the backside. And hopefully what CoverMe does is it gets rid of all that and it automates the process and makes it a lot slicker and a lot easier for you guys. So, as I said, the CoverMe app was built. It's really, really simple to use. Unfortunately, it wasn't that simple to make. It's really difficult to make, but it's very, very simple to use. It's just 3 steps, under 30 seconds, and you can book high quality cover. You haven't got to trawl through Facebook groups. You haven't got to use WhatsApp anymore. No more calling in favors. And everyone who comes on to our instructor network is vetted by an actual human here at the CoverMe team, so that you know that their insurance, their qualifications, everything's absolutely legit. It's all in date. And you know, we know that the app has been working really well. As I said at the start, we've got a 97% success rate because it's been live in a location in London for about 9 months. So we've actually got some of the results from that pilot to show you on the next slide. But just before we do that, as you can see on the screen, there's some of the features that are built into the app. So it's on demand. If you go for the emergency cover only, you only pay for what you use. It's completely trackable, so we've got GPS tracking, so you can actually track instructors to see how close they are to your location to make sure that they're on time. There's a rewards and recognition piece, which I think is really important for retaining the talent that you've already got. And there's also audition requests, which I'll come on to in a little while. So it's 30 short seconds, 3 simple steps, 1 powerful app, a pocket full of fitness. That's our strapline. So I will go on to the next slide. And these are the results from our from our pilot location in London. So what we found over the pilot period was that almost 90% of the cover requests were initiated by the instructor. The way the app's been built is that you can have it work both ways. So if your current process is that you as the venue or the operator owner manages that and starts that process, you can still do that. You can request cover as a venue. But what we found in the pilot is that most of the time it's the instructor who initiates that. And also that just under 1 in 5 of the cover requests were for a session which was less than 4 hours away, meaning, you know, kind of really top emergency last minute cover. And without this sort of solution, the real likelihood is that the class would need to be cancelled, and then you're frantically having to let members know, and in reality you're never actually going to get in touch with all the members who are booked in a short space of time. So some people turn up expecting the class, they get pissed off. Can I say that, Amy? Can we edit that in post-production?
We'll ask Rob to do a bleep.
Brilliant. They get annoyed. Cut, uncut. Yeah, they'll get annoyed. So people could, you know, could be turning up expecting a class which isn't actually going to run. So as I said, the app actually fulfilled 97% of those cover requirements over a 6-month period. You know, and if we go relate back to a couple of slides previously, you know, fewer disrupted classes leads to happier members stay longer, simple as that. So the solution, CoverMe app. So there's a lot more to the app than just managing your team or using emergency cover, which I'll come on to in a moment. But on those two, they're the two main ways that our current clients use the app. So we've got the managed service, which is a business will come on board and we will onboard their entire team of group exercise instructors, and they will use the app as a management tool to coordinate cover needs between their existing instructors. If for whatever reason your existing team can't fulfill a cover, then you can push that out to the wider CoverMe network. We call that emergency cover. You can just use the app for emergency cover if you wish. You don't need to have the managed service. You can have either or. We know that every business has different requirements, so we want it to be really flexible with how you can use the app, but still get the benefit of having high quality cover. There's also audition days. So this was designed really to replace the need to recruit through job boards, expensive recruitment agencies and things like that. This is only available if you're on the managed service, but for a one-off fee, you could send out a job ad to our network of instructors and be really specific with the kind of person that you're looking to attract. And because all of the instructors on the app, on the instructor app, will have their own profile, you can actually see them, you can see pictures, videos, qualifications, experience before you invite them into an audition day. So if you're putting out a job ad and you're not getting the right people because you're not getting specific people, that could be an answer to that. On the flip side of that is if you're pushing out job ads and you're getting inundated with dozens of CVs and spending lots of time sifting through, then this is a way to be really specific and get exactly the kind of new hire that we're looking for. And as I say, the audition days is part of is like a bolt on to the managed service. In addition to that, we've got things like QR code check-in so that instructors can easily scan in when they get to your venue. As I said before, we've got the GPS tracker so you can see where they are. You can also see your club schedule. You can create a club profile to make your venue sound more appealing to instructors so that they want to come and work for you. And there's also that reward and recognition piece as well. So just some little screenshots of the app here. Onboarding is really quick and easy. If you were to set up a profile, it takes a few minutes to just set up your venue for the emergency cover. If you wanted to go on the managed service, what we do is we'll work with you. Usually takes about a week. So we will onboard all of your Group X instructors. We'll get them on the app. We'll help them set up their profiles. If you've got a really extensive cover list where you're not sure which of those people are still active, we'll actually help you whittle that down and bring those into your preferred list as part of the managed service. So, as I said before, the emergency cover is absolutely free to download, and you only use it when you need it the most, and you only pay for an emergency cover when it's filled. I know I'm pushing time a little bit, Amy, so I'll rattle through these next couple. So as well as managing your team of Group X instructors, the app can also be used for reward and recognition. It's also a place where you can digitize insurance certificates and industry recognized qualifications all in one place. So no more paper copies needed, no more certificates strewn across your desk. And also instructors will get an alert when a document is set to expire. So we want to help you reward and recognise the top talent in your team. And this is just an example of some of the badges that they can get, and they'll get certain prizes when they reach certain points levels. We don't think at the moment there's an industry sort of standard way of rewarding and recognising top talent. So what we're doing here is we're trying to drive usage of the app through instructors by that gamification and getting them to be really engaged on the app, because the more they're engaged on the app, the more likely they are to apply for cover. The more covers you get filled, the happier your members are, etc. So we're already servicing a number of venues in London and the Midlands, and we've got some pretty big names in the industry supporting us, as you can see on screen. So John Trahan, Emma Barry, Russell Barnes have all said really good things about CoverMe, and the instructor network is growing daily, and we're adding new venues every week. So to make the app as accessible as possible, we have a few different packages to suit your club's needs. As I said before, we've got the managed service, which is a monthly subscription. And then if you're finding emergency cover, it is pay as you go. And for the audition days, it's a one-off fee if you're on the managed service. And that's it. A very high level whistle-stop tour of CoverMe app. Feel free to reach out. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys next week, but I will now kick back to Amy.
Kick back to me. That's awesome. I'm so excited, and obviously it really helps when it's a really nice team behind the brand as well. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm really excited for the future. A few things that I wrote down while you were talking.
Yeah.
And one, which seems really obvious, but actually it should really sink in for any gym owner out there. Obviously, we should all be aware that if we keep cancelling classes or instructors don't turn up, eventually that person's going to leave. But what you made a really good point, that actually, even if you lose one, which you think, oh well, it's like the odd one, you've got to remember they will give you a bad feedback and potentially put off future members as well.
Yeah.
So it is so important to remember it's not just, oh well, I've lost 10% this month feedback. It effectively is a lot more. All those potential members out there that are getting bad feedback from the experience those few have had, the knock-on effect's massive. So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
really hit home.
Yeah,
the pay-as-you-go option I think is brilliant for independents. Sorry, I just butted in them. Were you going to say something else?
I was
I'm
gonna
good
say,
at talking.
it's on that point, like it's well known in the industry that it costs 5 times more to acquire a new member than it does to keep an old one. So I'm not going to teach the guys watching to how to suck eggs, because we all know, we've all been in this game long enough to know that you have to really look after your existing members. And I think personally that since COVID, now there's more choice. The member experience has to be so good, because people now are a bit more flighty as a consumer. It takes less for them to look elsewhere. But if your membership experience is on point, then they won't need to. So, we really see this as a tool to help with that, along with other things that you've probably got in place at your club.
Yeah, totally agree. And then the other point was, obviously it's very adaptable, because I think there's probably a bit of a misconception out there, and I include myself in this, having run my own place as well. These sorts of things I would have probably looked at and gone, but I'm a small facility. So, that's the sort of thing that will be in like David Lloyd and, Look Fitness First and all the big chains. but it's the fact that you can do like pay as you go only makes it affordable. It's not completely out of reach, because I think sometimes in the independent world you have to strip back and get only what you need. But this, in my eyes, is something everybody needs, because
Well,
it
thank
just
you.
takes the
Yeah.
hustle away.
And that's why we priced it per instructor per month. So if even, if you do take the managed service, which is a monthly subscription, it's based on the number of instructors you have, not the size of the club. So, or how many classes you do. It's about how many instructors you have. So
Yeah,
if you've got a small team, you're going to be paying less than a gym who's got a bigger team. We just thought that was, and I think as a former independent gym owner, I think that's great, because like you, at the moment every pound is precious, and you have to really protect your operational expenditure. So yeah, that's
yeah.
why we priced it like that.
No, I totally agree. And the last point is just quite an amusing one, because I was sat there thinking, wow, the GPS tracker, great idea. But I thought, God, if I was an instructor on my way to a gym and I'm hanging around in Starbucks too long, potentially I'm going to get a call from that gym owner going, Amy, could you get out of Starbucks and get in? Just
Yeah,
made me laugh. I thought they could check up on wherever you are, couldn't they?
yeah,
Awkward.
yeah.
It just made me
But
laugh. But no,
I
it's
think
great. Joking aside, though, it's a great idea,
it is a
because you
great
might
idea, and
panic as a gym
that
owner thinking, are they coming? Yeah, so you can
yeah.
check.
I think as well, one thing that I should probably mention is, very key to the app is that when you're posting out for cover, it's only going to the relevant, insured and qualified instructors. So if you're posting a job for spin tomorrow at 6, it's not going to go to yoga teachers or Pilates
Yeah.
teachers or Zumba teachers. It's only going to go to spin teachers who are within a certain radius, who have got all of their documents in order. So that when someone replies to that and expresses an interest to fill that cover, you can be 100% confident that they're
Yeah.
legit and that they're great. And as time develops, we've got a scoring system, like a rating system. So
Okay.
everyone, venues and instructors, can be marked out of 5. So you'll even be able to see from a venue perspective that, oh well, I've got 5 people who've applied for this one cover job, but I've only got one who's like a 5-star, and you want the
Yeah.
best of your facility. So there's that aspect to it as well. So look,
Yeah.
we're really excited. We think this solves a problem in a really slick and sleek way. And
Definitely
yeah,
does.
just excited to
Definitely does.
get
I'm
to start.
excited for you as well. So obviously we're
Thank
seeing some
you.
of you next week at our summer conference. So who's coming? What can we expect? Where will you be?
That is a good question. We will be the barista sponsors, so we will be on the coffee. I've been told by Amy that it's really nice coffee, so come and
Yeah,
have a
we
cup. And be great to meet you all and have a chat with you. If you run Group X or not, we're always looking to chat to people in the industry. It'll be myself and a couple of members of my team who will be coming across, and it should be a great day. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thanks, Nick. All right, I will leave it there. Any other questions? Obviously, they can find you through the website, or would you
Yeah,
take questions
website.
via email? How can they find you?
That my email, I think, was on the last slide. If they want to
Yeah.
rewind it, and they
Okay.
can feel free to drop me an
Perfect.
email. But if not, yeah, just come and have a chat at the conference.
Amazing. Perfect. Thanks very much, and I'll see you
No,
next
thanks for having
week.
me. Cheers.
See ya. Mhm.